control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And the captain.
And Mark.
And I don't know if you heard the news, but evidently some guy well known as an Instagram user evidently had the local...
It's quite a qualification.
I'm sorry, how is Instagram not a cocaine vending machine? I don't understand how this term came about without it being that instead of what it actually is.
That's a really good question. I mean, like tobacco, firearms, and what is it?
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms should be a convenience store.
Yeah.
I would expect Instagram to be a machine inside of the ATF convenience store.
I like where this is going. This should be a thing for sure. So anyway, this guy who uses Instagram, a former Marine, I think it was, who did a tour in Afghanistan, had a red flag call made on him, and the police showed up, resulting in a 6-hour standoff, evidently. Captain, you want to take that?
Yeah, this isn't the sort of tour that you've done in the past, Captain. Hello, Mosul! Thank you everybody for coming to see us.
Different kind of captain, really. And, to be fair, I've skimmed several articles about this. I have, sort of a cursory idea of what may have happened. But I kind of feel like from all of the different articles that I read that this might be one of those situations where it's information overload. Everybody's trying to get their say, and it's just muddied the situation completely. But I
did watch some video of this situation that was going on.
I didn't get to watch any of the video from the guy himself, but all of the articles point to him having broadcast live, requesting help, etc., and so on. So I'm real interested to see where this goes. But this article is from lawenforcementtoday.com, and this is the companion article. Let's start with the original one.
So Law Enforcement Today was the initial group that covered this story, or one of the more prominent ones, rather, because it's also in like Ammo Land and other places.
Right, that's the one. I was trying to get to the Ammo Land one because I think that article should probably be the preface for our discussion anyway. And it leads, and from AmmoLand.com, it leads with standoff ends peacefully with Instagrammer Whiskey Warrior 556. And this is out of, I'm going to butcher this name, Mahopac, New York. Whiskey Warrior 556 is the Instagram name of Afghanistan combat vet Alex Booth. On Saturday afternoon, a Carmel, New York police officer showed up at his doorstep to discuss what they say was a domestic incident that took place with his wife earlier in the day. He disputes this claim. According to Alex Booth, a former friend informed law enforcement that Booth had a New York State illegal standard capacity 30-round magazine and that Booth suffered from PTSD from his combat tours in Afghanistan. He said police were at his house serving an extreme risk protection order, also known as a red flag law. The police officer said...
So this is because he got into some sort, allegedly, got into some sort of dispute with his wife.
Well, this is what the law enforcement officers are saying.
What is his wife saying?
Near as I can tell, post-fact, right, or post-incident. So I don't know if it's them doing a CYA where they're trying to cover their butts and they say a thing that isn't true. He disputes that that's what it is. The police officer said that he heard what he thought was a gunshot and called for backup. It was later determined that no guns were involved in the standoff. Booth appeared in the doorway.
Gunshots, I feel, are pretty distinctive.
Well, and you would think as a law enforcement officer, right, a cop, or whatever name you want to give these goons in, badges and guns.
Pig. It's gender neutral.
Oh, gosh. Go on.
It would be, I would assume that they know the difference between, say, somebody slamming a door and a gunshot, or a video game gunshot versus a real gunshot, only because these guys go to the range and they practice firing their gun. So
there's definitely a volume difference.
I would hope they would know, of all people, but who knows?
So, I mean, it could be that if I was a law enforcement officer, I could just say, I'm a little scared of what's going on. I think that I could use some backup here, and this guy's going to be a bit of a problem. I don't want any kind of difficulty. I don't know. I heard some noise. I thought it could be a gunshot. I mean, admittedly, a .22 suppressed isn't going to be very loud at all, and a regular .22 isn't terribly loud. It'll kill you good and dead. So I see it from that side. Just like the cop could just say that they want some backup. But I would like to bring everybody's attention here, not to defend Aria's claim that police are pigs, but I will bring everyone's attention to the idea that, hey, remember that these people took an oath to the Constitution. The Constitution says shall not be infringed regarding gun laws. And many times we've talked to police officers on this show who have said, well, they just won't enforce those laws.
Mm-hmm. But they do.
Well, I don't know who does and who doesn't, right? I presume the police officers, many of whom were retired when they called this show because, you have to work 20 years. They were in fact telling the truth because, well, they're retired, right? They don't have to enforce that. But there's just a very few cops that are called to these scenes. But when they're called, I don't know how you get out of it. I mean, if this cop had said, well, I wouldn't enforce those unconstitutional gun laws that are going on in the state of New York, and then he's called to this scene, well, now what do you do? Buster? Because
do you have an answer to that? 855-450-3733. I don't know what the answer would actually be from a realistic perspective, but I would say they should not enforce that arbitrary unconstitutional law.
Or any.
Yeah. So go on with the story.
So the police officer said he heard or thought he heard gunshots and called for backup. It was later determined no guns were involved. Booth appeared in the doorway in an agitated manner when the additional officers arrived at the residence and retreated to his garage apartment. Booth barricaded himself in his garage apartment and started a 6-hour standoff with the police. He started live streaming the incident in tactical gear to his Instagram account.
Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, he's wearing tactical gear, and that may seem dangerous to people, but
it's protective.
As a vet who does not have a weapon, well, does not have a gun, that this is probably the best idea he had all evening.
And he's being confronted by men with guns.
Yes.
Live streaming it was also a really good idea.
Right. So if he didn't say, if he didn't go on and live stream it, he didn't wear the protective gear, then, pop. Well, he went for, he was reaching for his waistband. I don't know what happened.
I feared for my life.
Takes care of that problem.
Did he have a dog?
I didn't see a dog. Not that I recall. And, I mean, I can forgive I don't think this guy did anything wrong.
No, I would say he absolutely did not.
I don't know whether he needs to have a gun or not. I'm not going to make that particular claim. I don't know what happened between him and his wife. But
well, I mean, they brought on an armored personnel carrier. This guy is an Afghan vet. He has fought in an actual war, and the police rolled up war machines to his front door.
And from what I read, and maybe this article gets into it, the police also rolled armored vehicles to the police stations based on the public outcry and support that this guy received, as if to protect themselves from any sort of citizen backlash.
Interesting.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's good. They should have never brought them out in the first place.
Yeah.
But at least they got rid of them, I guess.
I mean, it certainly demonstrates the militarization of the police forces, which, isn't supposed to be a thing, right? But it certainly is.
And they were going to use their militarization to accost this war vet.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, and I mean, I have so many questions, but we'll talk about it more, of course.
Yeah, more on the Whiskey Warrior when we get back. Do you think that cops should have enforced the unconstitutional law to search his home and take his guns? 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live, or use the Discord calling lines, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat bright eyes, and a great attitude.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dinovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dinovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dinovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Cpt Kickass.
And Mark.
And are you sick and tired of Washington politicians making decisions about you and your family's health care? Obamacare, which was supposed to be affordable health care with a choice, has turned into high-priced insurance with little choice. The team at betterplans.net believed that there was a better way to do health insurance, and they figured it out. Call 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote.
I did an interview with Mark Macy of betterplans.net, and we'll be playing that here at the end of the show today. This is great. I think it's wonderful. We're going to be calling them too.
Awesome. Well, yeah, because the truth is that you can get affordable health care
You
plans.
really can. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was surprised, but he makes it all make perfectly good sense.
Yep. So the first step is to download their free ebook called Dirty Little Secrets at betterplans.net. You can see their sample pricing for plans, and they're every bit as good as what the major providers do for as little as $145 a month for a single, or even greater savings for family and businesses. So go to betterplans.net and download the free ebook. The deadline is December the 15th, the Obamacare enrollment deadline.
Right. So it actually doesn't end for betterplans.net, but this is now's when everybody's thinking about this stuff. And now's the time to check it out. I mean, you can save easily half.
And again, that phone number is 1-800-714-1802. And we've been talking about the weekend warrior here. Now, why do I keep, every time it comes up, I want to call him the weekend warrior. But he wasn't.
The whiskey warrior.
He's the whiskey warrior.
That doesn't make him sound any safer to me.
No, but, sounds like a man after my own liver.
So we've been talking about how he was accosted in New York by pigs for having allegedly some sort of dispute with his wife that caused someone to call the police and say that he was a threat to others.
Well, and the article doesn't make it clear either about the circumstances in which the police showed up at his door. One statement is that, it was something to do with his wife, and the other statement is that it was the red flag law, saying that he had, some magazines of over 30 rounds, which are illegal.
Domestic violence triggers the red flag law.
Yeah, so I think what happened, is that they sort of came and took his guns, right? And then somebody
except it said they didn't find any guns.
And then somebody said that he had this 30-round clip magazine thing. Or
they're so dangerous when you have no guns.
Right. And so they came to get it from him. And then he's looking out the window, showing, cop on one end of the street, cop on the other end of the street. So here I am in battle fatigues waiting. And maybe they didn't come and get his guns. I don't know. But that's what I had found out last night.
And just an aside, I can't imagine what it must be like for somebody who, went into the military, right? Quote, the service, unquote, right?
Thinking that he was fighting for our freedom.
Assuming he bought into the propaganda and like he went with noble intent. And then now, the police are at his door coming for his guns, supposedly in the land of the free, et cetera, and so on. I can't imagine like what feelings that guy might have had at that particular time,
Well, before we get too deeply into that story again, let's go to the phones. We've got Dave from Colorado. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, all.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, what's on your mind?
Well, one of the advantages that we have in New Hampshire, although I'm calling from Colorado, I live in New Hampshire.
Okay.
One of the advantages we have is an organization that monitors all of the state legislators and, to see how libertarian they are.
Right.
Or authoritarian, as the case sometimes is. And that's the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. But now they are expanding a little bit and trying to do something new.
What is the new thing they're trying to do?
So there is a speakers series being put on by a libertarian group at New Hampshire colleges. And the NHLA has agreed to help sponsor some of these speakers.
Okay, so they're funding speakers to go and speak at some of the colleges throughout New Hampshire?
I think it's going to be more limited than that. I think it's 2 different speakers. I don't know if it's just one event. I don't know if there'll be multiple events, but they're sponsoring just one of the speakers. I think they're trying to start small, and they're requesting donations to help cover their support of this libertarian speaking event. I guess it's going to be at Dartmouth College.
Okay. Cool. It sounds like, people...
Who are the speakers and what are they speaking about?
Oh, I've got that written down. Let's see.
In my experience, students in New Hampshire...
Talk among yourselves.
Yeah, in my experience, students in New Hampshire are already fairly exposed to the ideas of liberty. I don't know how universally true that is throughout the state, but it's at least the case here at KSC and at Franklin Pierce.
Keg State College?
Who state?
Keg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Stole that from Vincent.
It's definitely a party school. So did you find that information?
Yeah, I guess so. It's one of them is a guy from the Ayn Rand Institute, Yaron Brook, and the other one, let's see. So yeah, Brook is the one that they're sponsoring. I don't know who the other speaker is.
Sounds like the Rand Institute should sponsor the speaker, but okay.
Well, they may be partially sponsoring him. I think NHLA is probably just co-sponsoring it. I mean, it can only cost so much to get one speaker to one event, right? And I don't know if there's any more than just this one event.
Okay, cool. When is this being held?
This is going to be February 27th, 2020. Looks like it's open to the public. And, it's not super glorious.
No, it's not. I mean, there's Liberty speakers in every state of the union. I don't even know why why they would go about doing this, but maybe it'll be great.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, like I said, it's good to see anything new being tried. And if it doesn't work out that well, then they won't do it again, probably.
Cool stuff. Dave, thanks so much for the call. As Mark said, there are speakers throughout the United States going to colleges. I'm not sure why I see this one as being any more noteworthy than any of the others.
The NHLA is noteworthy. I mean, there is no other state-level liberty organization that goes through and rates the bills that the state-level politicians...
And the state-level politicians themselves get rated.
Right,
correct?
As they do. And that is unique. And they've been doing it for some time. I think they've probably been doing it for close to 15 years now.
Is this like a libertarian Roger and Ebert, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, pretty much.
Stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Siskel and Ebert? I get my film critics mixed up.
Yeah, I think that's right, Siskel and Ebert.
So back to the story about the Whiskey Warrior.
Right. We picked up where Booth had barricaded himself in his garage for the 6-hour standoff.
Which I believe I would as well, because, the police aren't really trying to get him to surrender peacefully. That's easy. Knock on their door. Hey, dude, we need to take you in for questioning, or here's a search warrant or whatever. Instead, they rolled up, like police do, with guns drawn and with an armored personnel carrier.
I think that, in this case, they're only looking for a clip, right? Or a magazine. Excuse me, gun guys. They're looking for a magazine, so I don't know whether he lives with somebody or not, but presumably he could have said, hey, watch the house when the cops look for the magazine because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be out with a shovel not burying my magazine.
855-450-3733.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agoristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Captain Kickass.
And Mark.
And we talked about it a lot, but just a reminder that Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com that allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash using dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, or just meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. So finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Again, that's local.bitcoin.com. And we've been talking about the Whiskey Warrior today and everything that's been going on around that. By far, to me, the most interesting, a lot of it's really interesting, actually. But one of the more interesting aspects is the response of his Instagram followers.
Oh, yeah. The very next line in the article says his following went from roughly 4,000 followers to over 135,000 during the confrontation.
I went and watched.
Did you watch some of it like live?
I don't know. No, I got the sort of the story.
Okay.
Congrats to him.
By the way, first time I ever figured out a story on Instagram. I don't know anything about Instagram. As my understanding, it was just young ladies taking pictures of their fannies. And by the way, that's there. So,
of course, I would be disappointed if it was not.
You're right.
So that's an awesome bump in followers. I'm pleased for him. That's a clever way of marketing your thing.
It shows the power of social media too, right? Once social media escapes the centralization aspect, I think it's going to be a very, very powerful tool to advance, the ideas of freedom and liberty. My personal opinion, but it just shows how. I mean, we used to see crowdsourcing,
like things like Library, but for live streaming, and things like Mastodon. That's the sort of thing you're referring to.
You better explain what Library and Mastodon are.
I'm sorry?
You better explain what Library and Mastodon are now.
So Mastodon is a Twitter competitor that uses a federated server. So instead of just one centralized server owned by Twitter, there are lots and lots of Mastodon servers. The one I'm on is called Liberdon. It's a libertarian server run by a libertarian. And these servers sort of communicate with one another. You can join different servers. It's complicated. It's sort of like circles from how Google Plus attempted to be. So it's sort of a combination of Google Plus and Twitter, I suppose.
It's a libertarian Twitter.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that.
All right. Do you guys remember flash mobs?
Yes.
Right? This used to be a thing. People would go online and they'd say, hey, there's a thing going on. And like a bunch of people would show up.
Everybody needs to dance in the center of the mall at 6:30.
On Tuesday or whatever.
On Tuesday, let's go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And then everybody shows up, dances for 10 minutes, and then poof, it's gone.
And different varieties of flash mobs we saw, right? So we saw things like the protests on Wall Street and that kind of a thing.
The Occupy
stuff. Occupy movement. We
of a
saw
bunch of
versions of
wealthy
flash
people
mobs
who could afford to go 6 months without their jobs protesting Wall Street, which is the symbol of people who can afford to go 6 months without working their jobs.
Right. But we saw versions of flash mobs, and so it's my opinion that once social media becomes free from the centralized aspects, that we'll see more versions of flash mobs, things like this.
But how can it be truly decentralized as long as the ISP is centralized? Because the cops threatened to do that with the Whiskey Warrior. They threatened to shut off his internet. So what can you do other than, I guess, mesh networks are the only possibility,
Sure.
right?
I mean, there's, I'm not the inventor of how this is all going to happen. I just foresee it as inevitable.
Sure.
And I'm sure the blockchain is going to be involved in some way, shape, or
Sure,
form.
but you have to access the blockchain in order for any of this to even matter. I mean, if they cut off his internet, it wouldn't matter if he was using Mastodon or Twitter to talk about this event.
We've been talking about mesh networks in the libertarian sphere since I've been in the libertarian sphere. I mean,
I've heard about them since
when
like
are these
the
things
late
going to happen?
90s. I don't know.
When is somebody going to sell the cheap mesh network thing? It's not like I know any of my neighbors. Hey, I go to the octogenarians living down the street. Can you keep this? Octogenarians.
What is that?
There's
80-year-olds.
The what?
80-year-olds.
Oh.
Can you keep this in your house so that if the internet goes down and the po-po try to take us all out?
So that we have to boogaloo.
Right, so that we get a boogaloo. Right? Like, none of this conversation isn't going to happen.
Okay, fair point.
Libertarians don't live next to libertarians. Mesh networks aren't going to work. Just saying.
That's bleak.
Okay. So
An end of story. All right. Next topic. We're screwed. No internet for anyone.
No internet for you.
If we keep on sitting here in the United States of America, the largest and most effective government that the world has ever seen, talking about how we need to get smaller and smaller government as the government continues to grow larger and larger, we get what we deserve. I mean, it's nice to live here.
Mortified Penguin, who is listening at discord.freetalklive.com, actually has a reasonable and probably likely idea that people who were there would likely just turn on their hotspot and allow him to connect via that.
Probably a good idea.
That's crowdsourcing at its finest.
But
Yes.
I don't know that anyone was there. I mean, the street looked pretty desolate.
Well, eventually a lot of his supporters showed up, it would seem.
Okay.
And it looked like the boogaloo was happening in that little neighborhood in,
It was like a mini boogaloo.
Upstate New York.
It was sort of the pre-beta
I'm not sure what the
boogaloo.
boogaloo is, by the way. I've heard it used. Is this like the big one?
Yeah.
Finally, the big one?
The event that sort of, I don't know if you want to, collapse a society or like, if the dollar
not
fails.
the society,
or,
just the government.
I agree. Or if the dollar fails or,
Zombies.
Somebody, the zombie apocalypse.
That's how you say it safely. The zombie apocalypse is the code word for anything that involves the people I want to shoot, is apparently what these folks say.
When all your
By the
friends...
way, you're not shooting your way out of this one, folks.
That's less well known than boogaloo, so I think zombie apocalypse is better.
Yeah, it's more PC for sure.
Yeah.
But, it's when all your buddies show up in the van and they're like, dude, jump in. We're doing freedom stuff.
Yeah, well,
that's probably the start of the boogaloo.
There are rumors going around, or not rumors, but speculation that the Tesla truck that was recently unveiled,
I love that thing,
was attempting to be a boogaloo vehicle.
Yeah.
Because it's like armored plated against small capacity guns.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
The windows apparently don't stop the small capacity rounds. Or what are they?
I did
rounds?
watch the replay of the demo of that particular vehicle, and
I have not, but I heard it was pretty funny.
It looks nothing like you would expect a pickup truck to look.
I don't know why they're calling it a truck. What is the?
It has a bed.
It has a bed like a pickup.
So do El Caminos.
It can tow like a pickup.
El Camino is a pickup truck, right?
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that. Okay. Moving on.
Well, you're just a little brat.
El Caminos are El Caminos. I don't think they're trucks.
Well,
it's Spanish for the Camino. So
thanks, Captain.
I'm here to clarify and restate for everybody.
I really love that.
Back to the Whiskey Warrior. His followers jumped to 135,000 plus. The police called in the Putnam County Emergency Response Team, the Westchester County Department of Public Safety Special Response and Negotiations Team, and an armored personnel carrier. Booth captured all the law enforcement activity on his Instagram feed. Neighbors said it looked like a war zone. Firearms celebrities started sharing his address and asked people to show up to support him. According to Carmel Police Chief Michael Kazari.
Was he trying to boogaloo? Is that what he was attempting to do? I mean, when he says "come support me," what did he mean?
Well,
did he mean come shoot the cops?
It wasn't him saying "come and support me." It was firearms celebrities who are unnamed in this particular article.
And they were giving out his address?
I think they were trying to do like a Bundy Ranch kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that there are people out there that would really like to see the big one go down, right? Like, all right, let's get a bunch of people out there to shoot cops. Never forget what happened at the Mall here incident with the FBI is those last 3 people were sitting there waiting on their 3 percenters to show up and save their butts, and they never did.
What event are you referring to?
The Mall here wildlife refuge place where
we need to talk more about that.
Okay.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or flashrouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
I am Emmett Smith.
Mark.
And did we get close to the boogaloo? That's the question on hand here tonight with the Whiskey Warrior putting on his tactical gear, unarmed. It's worth pointing out. But he put on the tactical gear because the police rolled up with a armored personnel carrier and were attempting to, do what police do, which means they were planning to assault him and kidnap him and imprison him against his will.
Well, I'm even confused about the confrontation itself because this article says that, Booth showed up in like the doorway and the cop was outside. So did the cop come to the door and knock? How did Booth himself decide, okay, I'm just going to go inside now and barricade it doesn't go into the detail of like any interaction at all between.
No, I don't know how they got to where they were either, but I know that what I saw was the cops were at one end of the street and the other end of the street, and that he just kept leaning out his window, sort of saying stuff, calling them redcoats and those kind of things.
Nice.
Well, I mean,
I'm concerned about his inability to spell redcoat, if I'm going to be honest here.
I didn't know that he spelled it at all, but
he spelled it R-E-A-D coats.
Okay, read coat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read, right? Yeah, I got you. Red rum.
The internet's full of misspellings, so
it is.
We'll be fine.
But that's the color red is kind of a difficult word to misspell, though. It's spelled exactly how it sounds.
Well, he did spell it red exactly the way it sounds.
No, he spelled read. Exactly.
He also spelled red.
The past tense of read is read, which is spelled the same as read.
No, it's not, because the A is silent.
Right? So it's spelled
the same.
Spelled the same. Yeah, it's pronounced differently, but it's spelled the same.
I understand that.
Okay. He spelled red.
Just
spelled redcoat wrong.
He didn't spell the red that is actually spelled the way it's pronounced.
That's true.
Is my point. You said a hashtag related to redcoats was trending. Was it spelled correctly?
I believe it was. At least the one that I saw, it was, hashtag OK Redcoat or Redcoats, depending on what you had to see, which is a take, of course, of the OK Boomer, recent viral phenom that seems to have died in a couple of days, which is generally what happens now on the internet.
Now, I generally have no love for former soldiers, and I'm certainly not giving him any respect because of that. But I have to agree with your sentiment of how jarring this must have been for him to consider himself to be a patriot and then have what he considers to be redcoats showing it up at his house to search him and violate his rights.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no one's ever going to win this who's the greater patriot game. And I know that many of my libertarian brethren have tried very, very, very hard to, continue to hold down the last final fort of we're the better Americans than you are. But ultimately, this isn't a battle you can win. The United States is a state, just like Britain was a state, or UK or England or whatever the situation is.
And I have no respect or allegiance for any state.
Right, and it's just all they did in 1776 when they started the war, and then finally when they wrapped it all up, and I don't know, they wrote the Constitution in 1789, so you fill in the rest. All they did was trade a group of oppressive rulers far away for a group of oppressive rulers a bit closer. I mean, think about how Hawaiians must feel. The distance from Honolulu to Washington, D.C. is farther than it is from Boston to London. So, if the distance of your overlords matter, then Anchorage and Hawaii have something to talk to y'all about.
And let's not forget about the possessions,
maybe
too,
not,
right?
Yeah,
Puerto
maybe not
Rico
Anchorage, but yeah.
All that kind of stuff. It's insane.
In their defense, they were classical liberals, so they hadn't fully recognized the ideas that, the government is evil and there simply shouldn't be one. But they did understand that government was evil, and so we needed very small amounts of it. And I believe they tried to ensure that we would have a small government. They failed spectacularly, but I think they did try.
I would say that
some of them, not Hamilton. Screw Hamilton.
Yeah, here's a little news for those of you who are the sorts that say that cops and soldiers and those sorts are redcoats. Canada is rated freer on the Heritage Foundation and every other economic freedom chart out there. Canada is rated freer than the United States.
What's that all about?
What's it about? What's it all about?
So who is the Heritage Foundation?
It's a conservative think tank that rates these things. So not exactly a liberal organization.
Conservatism isn't significantly better.
Yes,
it's
but conservatism does hold up economic freedom.
Okay.
And Canada is economically freer than the United States, according to their charts. I didn't write the charts. I don't know. I just read this stuff. I'm just a talk show host. Okay. And what that says to me, though, is that all this rigmarole about revolutions and the importance in America, rah-rah, or whatever, that if they'd just held their ground and stayed where they were, then, hell, they'd be free as Canada right now, which is freer than them. And they've got socialized medicine.
Yeah, but it's not very good.
They come down here for their treatments and stuff.
Yeah.
To pay for it so they can avoid their socialized medicine. I'm sure they take the socialized medicine they can get while they're there. That's nice, but then when you need a heart surgery or whatever, then Canada's.
Well, isn't there a speed factor involved too? Like with the socialized medicine, they're like, "Yep, you're in line for your whatever it is that you got to do, but you could travel down to the U.S. and you just, I got money. Okay, You're first in line,
right?" I think it's the Surgery Center of Oklahoma or Oklahoma City Surgery Center, something like that. It's a free market libertarian hospital.
Interesting.
And
dude, that's awesome.
You bring your Bitcoin, you can have your heart surgery right away.
Good to know. So, regarding the Whiskey Warrior, apparently police were blaming social media attention for prolonging the thing, but it sounds to me like the Whiskey Warrior was the one who prolonged it. Well, technically the police were, but...
Well, the police chief, Michael Kazari, said that social media attention prolonged the event, but his quote is, "The negotiators were very close many times to getting the individual to come out of the residence peacefully, and the posts that were on Instagram were just inviting him. This is a person in crisis, having mental illness, having issues, and he didn't need the people on social media telling him that his rights are being violated. He needed help, medical help."
But his rights were being violated.
Well, this guy's assuming things, right? He's not a medical professional. He's a police chief, right? He's assuming the guy is having mental illness when he's not qualified to give that as a diagnosis, right? And this is a quote that he gave to the media.
I would rather the police chief believe that the man is mentally ill than to believe the man is armed and dangerous. Because I know what they do when they believe the latter.
It sounds like they did believe that he was armed and dangerous. I mean, that was the entire point of them going out there.
I mean, based on the response that the police had, I would think that is exactly what they thought. Not only did they think he was armed and dangerous, but he also was mentally ill, which generally, is another black mark on the assumption list, right? If you're going to assume things. So Booth's followers also took to blowing up the phone lines of the Carmel police, as well as Putnam's Sheriff's Department. Callers even overloaded the 911 system, causing callers to get busy signals. Lines were tied up with supporters concerned for Booth's safety.
So they were like, let's just troll the police?
This is, again, it's sort of the... what were we talking about?
The flash mob.
The flash mob, right? The crowdsourcing of, enough people to overload the system to bring it down, right? And so this is just another iteration of a flash mob, the use of social media to, let the police department in this case know, hey, look, we as citizens think you're violating this guy's rights. Knock it off.
Well, in theory, in order to overload the system that the police were using, wouldn't they need to get out like police-style radios and just flood them constantly with chatter so that
they don't like it when you call their place. It makes them angry. That's basically it.
Yeah, but pigs are always angry.
Oh, God.
That's what makes them pigs.
So I would say this is that...
I mean, being angry is like in their job description, right?
What are you doing in New York? I guess is my first question, Whiskey Warrior.
That's a fair question.
What are you doing there?
Yeah.
It's not like it's not the 50th state by a long shot. It's not even close. It's not even a close to 49th state as far as freedoms go in the United States. It's not like they weren't warned. It's been a few years now since they took away your ability to have I think it was a magazine larger than 7 rounds.
Isn't California pretty close to New York as far as just being junk?
I don't know about their rating regarding firearms, but I imagine that's relatively close. But their rating as far as, sort of freedoms in general, New York is far and away. The Empire State is far and away the Empire State.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so come to the Live Free or Die state. Come to New Hampshire. Or give us a call. Let us know what you think. 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I started taking them about 7.5 years ago. It was right after I lost my husband. My husband passed away. I was grieving so bad I wasn't eating at all. I mean, I just didn't care. And so I heard the advertisements on the radio, and I thought, well, my family's upset about me. I got to get myself straight, and I started taking them. So I always say they kind of saved my life, They gave me back my life. I would say that.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,463, silver at $17, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,075. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, WikiLeaks has taken much of a hiatus from publishing since the arrest and imprisonment of its founder, Julian Assange. On Saturday, the organization ended that silence by releasing an internal email of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons in what's being called the DOMA Docs, in a tweet posted to the organization's Twitter account on Saturday. The email pertains to the alleged chemical attack in Doma, Syria on April 7, 2018. WikiLeaks writes the team found much of the physical evidence, including the bodies of the deceased, was no longer available. It was alleged that 49 had died and up to 650 had been seriously affected by a weaponized chemical gas released in a specific area of rebel-held Doma on that day in April. The whistleblower told WikiLeaks the misrepresentation was achieved by omission of key facts, which introduces a bias that undermines the credibility of the report. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Corn is usually harvested in the Midwest before it's sent south to be exported, according to Bloomberg. But because farmers in the East, hurt by a springtime deluge, are holding back on supplies in hope of higher prices, the commodities price has been pushed higher than the futures market in the East, while it remains lower than the futures market in the West. It's a phenomenon known as basis arbitrage. Activist Post reports the spread on the arbitrage isn't yet large enough to move large amounts of grain, but it doesn't take much for that to change. That's according to Pat Bowe, Chief Executive Officer at U.S. crop handler Andersons, Inc. A $28 billion government bailout has helped growers with their falling income due to the ongoing trade war. But getting farmers to sell crops remains difficult. Corn prices have been under pressure after crops survived a record spring rain better than expected. Large corn bases for the season have also hurt export earnings, as outstanding sales for U.S. corn exports so far in the 2019-2020 season are trailing the year earlier pace by 32%, according to government data. One of the biggest problems with exploring the furthest reaches of space is the sheer timescale involved. Without a breakthrough in physics that would allow human beings to enter a state of suspended animation, it would not be possible. But now, that's changed. The Mind Unleashed reports that it looks like doctors have made progress with actually freezing and reviving human beings. Samuel Tischerman, a professor at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, has led a team that has actually put a human being into suspended animation. Tischerman told New Scientist that he replaced a human's blood with ice-cold saline solution. The patient was then removed from the cooling system and taken to an operating theater for a 2-hour surgical procedure, before having their blood restored and their body warmed back up to its normal temperature. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Tides are caused by the moon. The moon's gravitational pull also sucks up the feces and urine of the ocean floor, dumping it in the intertidal zones. The tide goes out, revealing pus-filled cysts known as tide pools. while the moon itself remains hypocritically pristine. Crabs are one of the many disgusting denizens of intertidal pools. They feed on feces and corpses with their demonic mouths. Scuttling hither and thither, they compete relentlessly for the juiciest excrement. Finding a walrus turd is truly nirvana for these abhorrent beasts. After accumulating too much filth to move, crabs bathe themselves in the ocean. Waste floods off the crab's exoskeleton and back into the tide pools as the cycle of begins anew.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
The captain.
And Mark, trying to hold all this together.
Yeah, because you keep saying, oh, Lord, like every time I talk about police. I have no respect for police.
Oh, Lord.
It shows.
To be clear. I think they probably got into it with the noblest of intentions, but they found themselves...
That's worthy of some respect, right? I mean, having noble intentions when you start something?
Yes, but the ones who I respect immediately quit because they realize that there's nothing noble about it, and all they're doing is, the peon work of the state. They're assaulting people, kidnapping people, extorting people, harassing people, impeding people, and it's all for the glory of the state and the lining the pockets of politicians and themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of other public service organizations, your fireman, Mark, have you ever gotten into a fire truck and sort of driven around a neighborhood looking for rogue fires or, parked around a corner, like hoping to catch somebody setting a fire, something like that?
No.
No other organization acts like the police do.
No, and for the last year, police here have been stalking me. It's resumed recently. There was about a 4-month period where they largely left me alone, but it has again resumed, and it's frustrating. The other night, someone came into work and informed me that there were a lot of state troopers out there. This was just random chatter, and it made me realize that the only people who have ever harassed me as I'm going about my life were police.
Interesting.
Yeah. No one else has ever held a gun on me or approached me with a gun and made me obey their arbitrary, asinine commands. No one else has ever extorted money from me. No one else has ever kidnapped me. No one else has ever locked me in a concrete room against my will. No one has ever strip searched me. No one else has ever violated my bodily autonomy. It's just police. So when I say I have no respect for them, it's because look at what they're doing. Look at the world we actually live in, where you're overwhelmingly likely to be targeted by the police and inflicted with one of these heinous acts, while they attempt to, quote, protect you from all of the boogeymen out there that they say want to inflict these heinous acts on you, but that don't exist and that have never affected me.
Yeah, where you and I agree is that, people would be far better off left to deal with people on an individual person-to-person basis than by using some extreme state organization filled with guys in costumes with guns who have the us against them mentality.
Sure.
Because at least individually, if I bump into somebody being less than personable, I'm free to deal with that person until I feel like I've, either gotten away from the situation or I've resolved it to my satisfaction. With the state, that can never occur.
No, like if I'm driving home at 3 a.m. and somebody comes barreling up behind me, flashing their lights or whatever, I'm going to probably move over to let them by. But if they instead pull in behind my driveway and come out with guns drawn, they're getting shot. But you can't do that with police. You can't even keep driving, because they're going to get roadblocks on you, tire strips and all of that, and then you're going to go to prison for evading the police. It's completely screwed up.
I'm very curious as to why the cops have targeted you. I don't really know much about it. I know that it keeps happening.
It does.
I mean, you have evidence. You have produced evidence. This is not some kind of harebrained, kind of paranoiac story. I've seen the evidence. I know that it's true. I will say this.
Ian had to come pick me up at like 2 o'clock in the morning once because a state trooper was just parked on the other side of the street waiting on me to leave where I was so that he could pull me over in the dark.
I lived in a town here in New Hampshire that didn't have a police department. And this is not unusual in New Hampshire. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't police, right? There's state police, there's the county sheriff,
right.
and but they're like you just said, Captain Kickass. They will show up if you have a problem. If your house is burglarized, you can call the state police, and the state police will come by, and they will write you out a piece of paper that verifies, indeed, the house is burglarized, and this person says that this, and this are missing. And they may even leave a little blank space. You can write a few extra things in after they go because, you forget things. But that's not the same as this person that will show up and harass you at your house, at night and day. Usually in these sorts of places, at least in New Hampshire, I don't know what it's like in the rest of America, where they don't have cops, they do have something else. And that's a large amount of firearms.
Yes.
Now, there's not a lot of burglaries that go on in this particular area that I was talking about, and there's lots of them in New Hampshire, but I lived in one of them. I mean, burglaries are pretty rare, and when they do happen, sometimes burglars end up in a coffin. So, yeah, I mean,
Well, you should always be armed, even if there are police to deal with burglaries, because best case scenario, the police still have to travel to your house to help you out with this burglar, and that's an average response time of like 27 minutes, something along those lines. So that's 27 minutes for this burglar to do whatever he wants to you if you're not armed. You're there already. You have the inside track. Grab your gun and shoot him.
Yep.
Well, I don't know.
Free advice from Aria de Mezzo.
I don't recommend shooting burglars personally.
I don't recommend shooting to kill them.
A burglar is somebody who comes to steal something out of the house, not a home invader. Different thing. Not that you'll know the difference if they come, but
I think that's literally a home invasion.
Right. Well, a home invasion, it's about intent. Okay. A burglar comes in.
I'm not going to ask their intent.
I understand that you would not ask their intent. I'm just saying.
Excuse me, sir. Are you here to violate me or my property?
There's nothing that's not alive that's in my house that's worth defending with a gun. That's just not. I don't keep those. You shouldn't have things in your house that are worth shooting people over, except your family. Your wife, your kids, maybe even your dog.
Well, I would agree that shooting to kill would be excessive, but shooting them in the leg, disabling them. I'm good with that.
Pretty much everybody who uses weapons says shoot center of mass because that's where.
Well, become better shots. That's what I had to tell those people.
Legs move.
Not faster than bullets.
that much is true.
Well, speaking of burglary, this Booth guy was actually charged with burglary.
Booth was charged with burglary?
Amongst other things, and none of this really makes any sense.
No, none of the story makes sense. I mean, we're talking about an Instagram dude who got a bunch of followers and live streamed police coming to search his home over red flag laws. It doesn't make sense from the start.
Right. And, the whole, so, followers are blowing up 911 and, he's streaming live on the internet. And around 9:30 p.m., police were able to convince him to come out of his home.
On the subject of live streaming on the internet, always a good idea when you're dealing with law enforcement. The app Cell 411 makes that super easy. You can stream simultaneously to Facebook, the Cell 411 servers, and your own YouTube channel. Highly recommend it.
Yep, agreed. Apparently, they took him into custody on a felony arrest warrant from the earlier domestic incident. They don't state what specifically was felonious about it. Police are also charging Booth with burglary, criminal trespass, criminal contempt, aggravated harassment, and petite larceny.
Are they explaining any of this?
No.
Okay, of course not. They're the police, right? They don't have to explain.
I mean, this is another thing that police do, right? They'll arrest you. They'll charge you with multiple things, right? A litany list of offenses that you allegedly have done. And then that's sort of the leverage they use when they offer you the plea deals so that you don't take it all the way to court and fight them over everything. They're like, oh, well, we'll drop these, 7 things that, you say you didn't do, but, we'll prosecute you for this one thing. And then you go, oh, well, that sounds good because you're dumb, right? And then they prosecute you for that instead of you going to trial, which is what I think most people should do.
I think so. I mean, you're only going to beat it if you take it to trial.
I don't know what I think about that either. Remember, these are people living in America talking about how a guy who's living in New York is somehow supposed to find a little more freedom in his life.
Well, moving out of New York is definitely the first step.
It's a good move. I think it's best to take things to trial, but sometimes they make it so that the cost of taking something to trial is
Very
so high that you might as well take the plea.
You're not wrong. And that's one of the ways that they rig the game against the poor. That's why so many of our prisons are filled with poor people.
You can either be rich or you can get a fair trial.
855-450
Never mind.
3733.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You can be the smartest person in the room on the topic of the Constitution if you watch this free webinar. Liberty First University is online training on the principles of liberty and the origin, proper application, and defense of our founding documents and the principles they contain. You will receive an education worthy of the highest institutions of learning, as if the founders were teaching it. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
The Reverend Captain Kickass.
And Mark.
And you know, the mobile wallet that I use for holding my cryptocurrency, for spending my cryptocurrency, is the Edge wallet. It's available for both iOS and Android and allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrencies you can evidently buy directly from the app. I haven't actually done that because
I've done that. It's cool.
I have better access to cryptocurrency than the average person. But you evidently can buy, and I wouldn't recommend selling, but you can evidently sell directly through the app as well. It has support for Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and so many more. It's got a veteran team that has been working on it since 2017 with a tagline of secure your freedom. You can find out more about it at edge.app. It doesn't use any of that 24-word passphrase crap. You can actually get a 24-word passphrase if you want like a hard backup, but it uses a username and password login system that is just awesome.
A lot easier. And if you flush your phone down the toilet and you get another phone, put the username and the password in and everything's there.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. I just couldn't be happier with this. Conceivably, you could have your whole digital cryptocurrency life in your Edge wallet, right? You can buy your crypto there. You can trade it there if you want to do some trading. You can use it to spend whatever. You want a friend you want to sell some to, get some cash so you can do some stuff, or vice versa. You can do all that.
Again, check it out at edge.app or the iOS store or the Google Play Store.
The coolest bit about doing the in-wallet exchange was that, at least when I did it, I needed to exchange one crypto into another, and it allowed you to choose between either like a KYC exchange or a non-KYC exchange. Now, of course, the non-KYC exchange is a little more costly for the fees in the exchange, but they had a variety of selections for a guy to choose from, and I thought that was phenomenal.
KYC refers to the Know Your Customer laws that the United States puts on banks that make them, do business with people, even the smallest amounts. Apparently, they choose to collect people's information for the smallest transactions.
Yeah, this was a $40 transaction, and to use one of the KYC exchanges in the wallet, I would have had to upload, a copy of my driver's license, so a bill for my whatever the KYC requirements are to satisfy that exchange before I could change $40 of, say Bitcoin Cash into Dash or something like that.
This is also another reason that local.bitcoin.com is such a great trading platform, is that it has none of that. If you want to use like Kraken or some other exchange, or even the other site, localbitcoins.com, you're going to get KYC'd to death, especially on localbitcoins.com these days. It's absurd how much KYC they require.
Indeed.
But before we get into that, let's go to the phones. We've got Bad Slave calling. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I need to speak up again about, you've been talking about it a little bit with regard to this poor slob and red flag, law that came down on him like a ton of bricks.
Sure.
The idea that we throw out due process and
Well, that's what President Trump said. Take the guns first, due process second.
And Trump, is on a regular basis an idiot. So that's, expected. But, we don't need to believe these people. We need to examine what's really going on.
And what is
the
really going
idea
on?
that anybody on the street can walk down by a house, see somebody they know, point a finger at them and say, he has guns and I'm pretty sure he's going to do something bad with them. And then you're done.
Pet Slave, you're referring to the red flag laws, right?
Of course, yes. You
didn't state that.
Well, no, I did. I brought it up.
Well,
but anyway.
These red flag laws do have a great opportunity for somebody to have a little vendetta against somebody else, and it ain't pretty. I mean, who's it going to be? Is it going to be the cops claiming that's what happened with Ian here at one point years ago? Somebody drove by, said, "I don't like the way your lawn looks," and pretty quickly, Ian's in jail. Now, yeah, Ian's a pain in the butt. There's no doubt about it. But
I wish people at their front doors, when they know they don't expect anyone, that they're at the ready with some pretty good firepower. You know what I mean? I want people.
The problem with that is that the police will shoot you, whether they have a right to be there or not.
Listen.
No, I mean you're basically inviting people to get shot and killed by police.
To be shot.
You're basically like, hey, the police come knocking on your door. Answer with a lot of firepower.
That's bad.
This is a knock. This is a no-knock raid. This is the thing that one chief of police somewhere I read it. Is stopping. Aren't they? The no-knock raids are just the most horrendous bad idea that can even go on. The only time that they need a no-knock raid is when, in fact, there is actually, no conflict between the two people. There's no victim involved.
They need a no-knock raid for no victim?
So you mean like if I was visiting my girlfriend, that's the only acceptable no-knock raid, is what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm just saying that the vast majority of crimes are victim-free, and the vast majority of drug crimes are the ones where they're doing these.
That much is true. Most no-knock raids are committed against people who are drug offenders or whatever. I'd say that I think there's a place for no-knock raids. That the problem is that 99% of them aren't for these things, and that there's this small margin of situations where, I don't know, maybe they kidnapped a kid or something, and somebody knows where it is, you bust a door in, and, well, that's good, or whatever.
Well, and just remember, too, it's only a matter of time until we see a red flag law that turns into a no-knock raid. These things get assembled in a variety of ways, particularly as they pass new and more intrusive laws. And it's only a matter of time until we see this cascade like that.
And that's a scary thought.
I know.
No-knock raids themselves, that's a scary thought. That's police asking for it. It really is. You go into somebody's house in the middle of the night, no knocking, no warrant, nothing. You deserve to get shot at. I'm sorry. You do. And I would be one of the ones shooting you in that particular scenario if you came into my house like that, because you don't know if that's a burglar or if that's a criminal gang. Well, it is a criminal gang if it's police.
Right.
But you don't know if it's a non-police criminal gang, It's stupid that they would even risk it, that they would risk officers' lives that they value so highly, because blue lives matter in no-knock raids. 855-450-3733.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Saying that he was giving his coworkers at Marley Publishing just a few more days to catch on to him, local mentally unstable man Michael Redding told reporters he planned on exhibiting 1 or 2 more warning signs this week before, quote, finally doing this.
I think I'll do just a couple of disconcerting things in front of people here at the office. Maybe give them a day or two to take action through the appropriate channels. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm going through with it.
The fully unhinged Redding, who plans on, quote, making this thing happen sometime next week, claims that despite displaying erratic and worrisome behavior around the office for the past few months, his actions have gone completely unreported by his coworkers.
I definitely talked about my frustration with life in general, and I even discussed my fascination with all sorts of violence. But that still didn't throw up any red flags. We'll see if anyone catches on.
Mike? I don't know him super well, but he's nice enough. He's quiet and he keeps to himself mostly, but I'm sure he'll come out of his shell. Just a matter of time.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Captain Kickass.
And Mark.
And we've been talking about just general, the government being upset with people. You know, they have these red flag laws and things like that that they just really don't like people being free. And of course, libertarians like being free. So we've been developing a directory of liberty-minded businesses because if we want more libertarians in the area, we have to make being a libertarian in the area profitable.
And it's everybody's area.
It is. So
Liberty.menu
is a tool for doing exactly that. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and so much more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network aspect to it so that you can connect and share with others. However, use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. So put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. Another thing that politicians and the state and its little, circus also doesn't like, or that it does like, is Captain America, which is a weird story to me because I always refer to people as Captain America in a condescending way.
That's because you don't know anything about Captain America.
I like Captain America, the comic book character.
Okay. Who are we talking about then?
The idea of Captain America.
Okay.
School me, Mark.
Well, Captain America has long been a beacon for
American
human
sovereignty.
freedom. No.
He's Captain America, not
I get where you're coming
not
from.
Captain Humanity.
Sure. Captain America was created in 1941.
He is the jingoist. The only comic book character more jingoist than Captain America would be Superman.
I don't know that Superman is. I don't know that people think of him as jingoist, though.
Well, because they don't understand the character.
I think.
I mean, he wasn't invincible when he was first developed, but as American ego grew more and more out of control, so did Superman's abilities.
That is an interesting correlation. I'm not sure that has much to do with much. I think that Superman is, he's often pictured alongside an American flag. He's certainly done the bidding of the United States government at times. He is an illegal alien, mind you. I think
alien, too, not just a person without the correct paperwork.
But Captain America is largely misunderstood in this way by both people who dislike and like him for their misunderstandings, all right?
So how do you say he's not a symbol of America as he's decked out in red, white, and blue and called Captain
I don't know
America?
that is true or not. He is a symbol of American ideals, right? And those I still like. Now,
freedom, economic prosperity, those things.
Right.
But he's not Captain Freedom.
He's not Captain Freedom. There probably is one out there, but
is.
Captain America is...
or some libertarian right now is going, ooh, Captain Freedom. Dobby Barker's out there making Captain Freedom right now.
So let's just talk about Captain America real quick. So Captain America created in 1941 to punch Hitler in the mouth, right, by Jews. So you can see why...
Because America.
Well, I think that they hoped more for America than what they were getting. Right. Don't forget that in 1939, Roosevelt and many American politicians make sure that I think it's the Amsterdam gets turned around, and many of the people, the Jews that were on that boat, died, also signaling to Jews around the world, especially the ones in Nazi-occupied areas, that, hey, sorry about your luck, you're not coming here. Imagine for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, how powerful America would be right now if it took all those Ashkenazi Jews and instead of sending them to Israel, where they had to, fight for their existence, letting them move here to the United States and build a better life for themselves. These are people that have, shown themselves again and again and again to be very prosperous and, nobody has more Nobel Prizes than the Jews.
Well, isn't Israel kind of a subsidiary of the United States in geopolitical terms
I'm
anyway?
not sure that it's not the opposite, but...
well, I'm not touching that one.
All right, so then let's move Captain America fast forward to the early 70s when he gets his buddy, the Falcon, on his team. Captain America is very upset with the civil rights movement and the way some Americans are not being treated fairly. He's
upset with the civil rights movement, or he's upset that it was necessary?
He's upset that the United States government, specifically people in the South, are not being treated properly.
Okay.
And he actually gives up the Captain America uniform for a little while to call himself Nomad, and then at some point realizes, well, somebody's got to wear this uniform and stand up for what America was meant to be, so I guess it's going to be me.
Yeah, he literally rejected his statism, if you will.
Yeah, and then have you got a chance to see the Winter Soldier movie?
I did.
In my opinion, the single best in the entire Avengers franchise. It's great because
I don't know. Civil War was really good.
There's a lot of good action in Civil War, but when you realize that Winter Soldier exposes the fact that totalitarians infiltrated our government at the same time we began, the United States government, at the same time they began the imperialist expansion, and those totalitarians have used and created, manufactured crises around the world in order to increase their power over people of the globe, culminating in preemptive assassinations of intellectuals. Well, it just kind of sums it all up.
You're not wrong. That is largely how we got to where we are today. In order to fight the National Socialism of Nazi Germany, the United States became a nationalist and socialist, a fascist regime.
Yeah, I guess that they were already well on their way, but
yes, it began during World War I.
Yeah, well, probably even before that, Roosevelt, and how far ever you want to go back.
And circling back to Captain America, as a kid growing up reading comic books, Captain America was certainly my first exposure to sort of freedom as a philosophy.
Really?
Yeah, because he was a bit of an idealist. The word freedom was always surrounding, in his word bubbles in the comic books. He was very explicit in that he desired freedom for everybody, not just people within a certain geographical area, worshiping a certain skycloth, right?
Okay.
So, like, as a philosophy, and I mean, mind you, I didn't understand anything. I thought it was cool. He had a shield and, would, kick ass, right?
Yeah.
So
he was overpowered in all the video games for sure, because he had the shield and most of the characters you played as didn't.
Right, and he's not bulletproof. And whereas he's fighting against people with adamantium skeletons and a variety of things. It doesn't make any sense. Captain America shouldn't be able to best Spider-Man at all. The guy can lift a car and swat you with it. Whereas
Who's that, Spider-Man?
Spider-Man can pick up a car and swat Captain America with it.
Spider strength.
But
is Captain America not capable of doing that?
He cannot lift a car, no.
Okay.
He should be something above, an Olympic-level athlete, is what the Marvel Universe said back in the 80s. So let's presume he gets a little stronger with age. I don't know exactly, but not much. He shouldn't be able to do anything more than the strongest man can do. And the strongest man, by the way, does not look like Captain America and cannot fight like Captain America and cannot do backflips and jumpy doos like Captain America can. So if you presume that Captain America is the culmination of the greatest athletes that we have known in our lifetime, the Jim Thorpe of humans, as it were, that
I don't understand that reference.
Jim Thorpe is probably the greatest athlete that the world has ever known, and he doesn't get a lot of credit.
Okay.
He's an American Indian and won the decathlon in a different pair of shoes, two different shoes, because he had to find one in garbage.
It's pretty amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, Captain America, Marvel is unhappy with how politicians are using Captain America, and we're going to get more into that in just a moment. Give us a call. What do you think about Mark's little history lesson? Is he right? Is he wrong? 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. As in Free Talk Live.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, manufacturing space, retail space, or more, call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
The Captain.
And Mark. Are you sick and tired of Washington politicians making decisions about you and your family's health care? Obamacare, which was supposed to be an affordable health care with a choice, has turned into a high-priced insurance with very little choice.
Yeah, it's a mess, man.
Yeah. If you like your high prices, you can keep them, but the team at betterplans.net believed that there was a better way to go about health insurance, and they figured it out. You can call them at 800-714. Aria, I'm sorry, you handed me this, and I didn't have my reading glasses on. I know it's,
Well, you're more familiar with it, and I knew you would have a different spin on it than I did.
Your late 20s or whatever your age is, you don't know what this is like. 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote. The truth is that you can get affordable health care plans that cost hundreds of dollars less per month. However, the first step is to become aware of how the wool is being pulled over your eyes. You can download their free wool ebook at it's Dirty Little Secrets. It's at betterplans.net and see their simple pricing plans. Every bit as good as the major providers' plans for as little as $145 per month for a single, and even greater savings for families and businesses. Gain access to educational videos and a free, quote, plus your free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. Obamacare enrollment deadline is December the 15th. Don't delay. Visit betterplans.net or call 800-714-1802. 800-714-1802, betterplans.net. I did an interview with them today. We're going to be playing it here at the end of the show. And yeah, they're offering something really exciting.
I don't understand how everyone doesn't see the Affordable Care Act, that's Obamacare, as a bailout for the health insurance companies.
That's what it is, yeah.
That's all it was.
Well, and
right?
it's always named the opposite of what it is, right? So it's the unaffordable, we don't care.
Well, certainly. I mean,
Act.
health insurance is a matter of risk versus reward, the same as all insurance. But you need healthy people to buy insurance to offset the cost of the unhealthy people using the insurance, right? And that wasn't happening in the United States because the cost of health insurance had just skyrocketed. So the government solution was to force people against their will, force young, healthy people to buy health insurance, to subsidize the unhealthy people because the health insurance companies broke it. Mm-hmm. They broke the entire system. And if you don't want to do it...
The amazing thing is the price keeps going up.
You get to pay a $2,000-something fine.
I think that the fine has been rescinded with under Trump.
Oh,
so now
correct.
you just choose not to have health insurance.
I make that choice.
But
knowing full well what it entails.
Sure. And, I mean... You know, it has its consequences. I hope that none of those things occur. You're a young person, so chances are good. I was at your age and didn't have health insurance, so I can't chasten you too much. But as one gets older, one begins to get a little more concerned about these things. So,
certainly.
Yeah.
Was that Mr. Howell?
I'm not sure. Will do. Yes, lovely. I will do a Mr. Howell. I don't mind
Very
it.
good.
I love the mainline accent with the talking between the teeth. You just hold it together here. I have met people who actually talk like this with a transatlantic accent.
You sound like you're trying to do a Sean Connery.
Sean might do with his teeth done too. The transatlantic accent sort of mixes. It's like American with a little bit of English as opposed to American with a lot.
Okay.
And the idea, transatlantic, right? It's the idea is that you meet the Brits in the middle. And remember, back at the late 1800s, early 1900s, America got very, very much Anglophiles, especially the rich ones, because they had so much money they could do whatever they wanted. Well, now let's buy some titles.
Okay.
So
speaking of America,
yeah, we were talking about Captain America.
We were.
And as a captain, I'm wondering why we're talking about this other captain on the show that I'm on.
The other Captain America?
I mean,
fill us in.
I don't want to be usurped by another captain, you know.
Fill us in.
I guess this show's big enough for two captains.
Well, there you go.
If one of them's Captain America, I think, based on Mark's description, I would make room for the guy.
This from Geek.com. Marvel tells politicians to stop using Captain America in a campaign. Marvel asked a New York City politician to stop using Captain America for campaign purposes.
Now, does it specify how the politician was using Captain America?
A politician recently dressed up as Captain America, and Marvel was not happy about it.
Well, I'm curious about this. So if you buy the costume and it's a Marvel costume, right? It has a little Marvel tag
like
in it.
Like a Halloween costume type of thing?
Right. What can I use it for and what can't I then?
Right.
That's a really good question. It sounds like Marvel was a bit careless with their costuming merchandise.
I mean, even if you bought like the expensive one, right? Not the chintzy one at the Halloween store.
Right.
But,
Marvel doesn't make the expensive one, though. They may make an expensive one, but they don't make the good one.
You could get one custom made if you wanted to.
The custom one isn't by Marvel, though.
Well, he could make one
true.
himself. I don't think there's any particular. This is probably why they're asking him to stop.
We're
instead
probably
of
splitting
issuing
hairs
him
about
a cease and desist. You know,
official licensed products versus like something that you commission.
That's what I'm
somebody
talking
to
about.
custom
Is
make,
that I
right?
wonder what I can do with the official licensed product.
Yeah, I don't know. But New York. We're back to New York. Great.
Golly, Captain America is from Brooklyn.
Yeah. New York City Councilman Ben Kallos, Kallos, received a cease and desist letter from Eli Bard, Marvel's deputy chief counsel, on November 15th, comicbook.com noted. The request was sent...
So he did receive a cease and desist.
He did.
Okay, well, they didn't ask them. They said
they asked via their attorney.
Disney isn't about asking.
Well,
there's a really great story.
The headline was they asked him to stop, which is like, okay, well, that's fair. He can cosplay as whoever he wants.
It's easy, Rain Man. When they ask, they don't ask. Okay,
sure.
Now, there's a story from the early 90s about a nursery school in Orlando, near Orlando, that had the Mickey Mouse characters on the wall, and Mickey Mouse, there's a feel-good news story or whatever. The Mickey Mouse people, this is Orlando, see the Mickey Mouse on the wall. They send a cease and desist to the nursery. Stop using our characters. Hanna-Barbera sees the news story, flies artists out there to paint a huge murals on all their walls of all the Hanna-Barbera characters, basically telling Mickey Mouse to go stuff it in his big old round ear.
So Disney did this to a nursery?
I know. It's really, it's yucky.
Yes.
They truly are among the most evil corporations out there.
I just wanted to clarify that the headline says Marvel tells politicians to stop using Captain America in campaign. Not asks.
I thought you said asks.
Tells. I thought I did too, but I went back and looked at the headline again because I'm like, did it say ask? No, it indeed says tells.
Okay.
So they've given them a cease and desist letter. The request was sent after Kalos reportedly used a picture of himself sporting Captain America's suit in a fundraising email called Superhero Alert.
So did he wear this for like Halloween and just like, oh, this is a good picture, I'm going to use it in this fundraiser flyer or whatever?
No, he was, at an event, a public event, wearing the Captain America suit. There's actually a picture.
So he
of
had
him.
Monetized it, essentially, and I think that's probably...
Well, he's using it as part of a campaign...
Fundraiser,
right?
Yeah, that's monetizing it.
I don't know that would be considered monetizing in a legal sense, but all right.
Well, he's attempting to make some amount of money for his campaign.
Yeah, but it's not profit.
You don't...
There's a copy of the
Just saying.
actual cease and desist letter here. It says, Dear Councilman Callis.
No, but I'm trying to figure out, like, if I was to wear a Captain America costume and they sent a cease and desist, would it even be valid?
I've worn a Captain America costume on the air here at Free Talk Live, and you can see us right now at cam.freetalklive.com. And I would presume that Disney, if they felt like doing it, at the time it wasn't a Disney product, but if they felt like doing it, they could somehow demand that we take down that video.
What if it was a Halloween episode and you bought...
That's what it was.
And you bought the Captain America costume from a store?
Everything is Marvel licensed.
Then I think they should have to shut up.
I don't know.
I doubt the legal system would agree.
That's the problem with our intellectual property laws in America is that I can buy a Captain America shield that's licensed by Marvel and a Captain America shirt that's licensed by Marvel and have a sort of a Winter Soldier get-up going on and still be told by Marvel to pull it down.
Would they then defend you in court for getting naked on camera?
Probably not. And the jeans that I was wearing, or the pants that I was wearing, were not Marvel.
Yeah, see, this is another reason I'm not watching the new Star Wars movies. I just don't like Disney or anything.
I hear The Mandalorian's great. I saw the first episode and it was pretty good.
I'm up to date. It's great.
I refuse to watch it. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. Helpmetakebitcoin.com.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,463, silver at $17, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,075. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, WikiLeaks has taken much of a hiatus from publishing since the arrest and imprisonment of its founder, Julian Assange. On Saturday, the organization ended that silence by releasing an internal email of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons in what's being called the DOMA Docs, in a tweet posted to the organization's Twitter account on Saturday. The email pertains to the alleged chemical attack in Doma, Syria, on April 7, 2018. WikiLeaks writes the team found much of the physical evidence, including the bodies of the deceased, was no longer available. It was alleged that 49 had died and up to 650 had been seriously affected by a weaponized chemical gas released in a specific area of rebel-held Doma on that day in April. The whistleblower told WikiLeaks the misrepresentation was achieved by omission of key facts, which introduces a bias that undermines the credibility of the report. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Corn is usually harvested in the Midwest before it's sent south to be exported, according to Bloomberg. But because farmers in the East, hurt by a springtime deluge, are holding back on supplies in hope of higher prices, the commodities price has been pushed higher than the futures market in the East, while it remains lower than the futures market in the West. It's a phenomenon known as basis arbitrage. Activist Post reports the spread on the arbitrage isn't yet large enough to move large amounts of grain, but it doesn't take much for that to change. That's according to Pat Bowe, Chief Executive Officer at U.S. crop handler Andersons, Inc. A $28 billion government bailout has helped growers with their falling income due to the ongoing trade war. But getting farmers to sell crops remains difficult. Corn prices have been under pressure after crops survived a record spring rain better than expected. Large corn bases for the season have also hurt export earnings, as outstanding sales for U.S. corn exports so far in the 2019-2020 season are trailing the year earlier pace by 32%, according to government data. One of the biggest problems with exploring the furthest reaches of space is the sheer timescale involved. Without a breakthrough in physics that would allow human beings to enter a state of suspended animation, it would not be possible. But now, that's changed. The Mind Unleashed reports that it looks like doctors have made progress with actually freezing and reviving human beings. Samuel Tischerman, a professor at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, has led a team that has actually put a human being into suspended animation. Tischerman told New Scientist that he replaced a human's blood with ice-cold saline solution. The patient was then removed from the cooling system and taken to an operating theater for a 2-hour surgical procedure, before having their blood restored and their body warmed back up to its normal temperature. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Following the news this week that recording artist and industry magnate Bob Dylan would be laying off 2,000 workers from his Muscatine, Iowa songwriting factory in an effort to streamline his music-making operations, The Onion spoke with veteran factory worker Travis Felton, who received a pink slip earlier today.
I've been working on the lyric assembly line for 25 years now. Punch in each and every morning, make sure the words are complex and poetic. And yesterday, the foreman calls me into his office to tell me that the company is reducing headcount. They're giving the whole rhyming section the boot. What Mr. Dillon and the other suits don't understand is that here in Muscatine, songwriting is all we have. And we've been doing the best damn Dylan songs in the world for over 50 years, and now they're trying to take that away from us. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Well, I guess I could see if they're hiring over at the Tom Petty factory in Hurstville. Lord knows I hoped it'd never come to that.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
The Reverend Captain Kickass.
And Mark.
And I want to thank Chris, who is our amplifier tonight. He's a platinum amplifier, which means he chooses to give $25 per month to the AMP program. Now, we don't ask that. All we ask to participate is $5 per month. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It's money that is used strictly to promote Free Talk Live, so to get us on more radio stations, help with the outreach and all of that. So if you like Free Talk Live, if you like what we're doing, you might consider checking out the AMP program, which also bestows upon you a number of other little benefits, like the AMP-only channel on discord.freetalklive.com, as well as the AMP-only Facebook group. Again, that's amp.freetalklive.com. So, Chris, thanks so much for that.
$25, huh?
Yeah.
Chris, you're a generous man. Thank you.
Absolutely. So,
or woman, I guess. Chris is gender neutral.
Yeah.
Chris, you're a generous person.
So, Captain America is, according to Mark, a symbol of what essentially America is supposed to be. And,
that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And Disney, who now owns Marvel.
That's correct.
Thanks so much, Marvel, for selling yourselves to Disney, of all people. Now, Disney is one of these super corporations, right? Like, it's really easy to underestimate just how much of the entertainment industry Disney actually owns.
Well, I mean, it's easy to underestimate the IP law in America and the influence of Disney on the IP law in America. It's very, very likely that most of the IP, intellectual property law in America, or at least a good portion of it, is centered around that one little rat and his age.
I've stolen from the internet somewhere else from earlier today a potential win-win scenario where you can put Disney to work for you in an effort to keep your privacy. And that is when making a sex tape, be sure to play some sort of Disney music in the background. That way, if it gets leaked online, Disney attorneys will have it taken down. Modern problems, modern solutions.
Over and over again. Yeah, well, there you go.
That's an interesting solution. I mean, Disney, according to Mark, they do have a bit of a reputation for this sort of thing, issuing a cease and desist letter to a nursery of all places for having Disney characters on the wall.
And of course, now that Captain America is, the Marvel properties are owned by Disney, we have this situation.
Absolutely disgusting. So, back to the story here.
So this guy, Kalos, put up a copy of the letter. The article quotes it, so you can go find that for yourself if you like. Google that stuff. Or use your other favorite search engine.
It'll be on our Telegram at telegram.freetalklive.com.
Very well. So on Friday, Kalos shared the letter on Twitter and said he, quote, got a kick out of it, unquote. The letter asked Kalos...
Yeah, who doesn't get a kick out of cease and desist letters from super corporations, right?
The letter asked Kalos to stop using Marvel characters, including Captain America, for, quote, political purposes, unquote. I write to request, this is a quote from the letter, I write to request that your campaign refrain from using Marvel's characters in its advertisements for your quest for the borough presidency or otherwise, Bard wrote in the letter. While Marvel...
So see there, it's a request, Aria.
I have no doubt whatsoever that it was a request.
It's a politely worded tell, right? While Marvel appreciates your obvious affection for our properties and welcome your support as a fan, we ask that our characters not be used for political purposes or to support political campaigns. Kalos did not specify whether he would agree to Marvel's request. If folks really want to know how the rest of the story turns out... Oh, never mind. That's okay, so that's basically the end of the mention here. But what I find interesting is, here is a character developed by Marvel called Captain America, whom as Mark has stated, sort of exemplifies what the American beliefs or ideals at least at one point were.
Right. What we would like people to believe that we stand for, and what many Americans really do believe it stands for. The reason that people stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, that the tear runs down their eye during the Star-Spangled Banner, and I get all of it because I respect it. I really do. It's just that I think we've been tricked, and I'm not the only one. Captain America has thought it more than once.
I know I do. But here we have this character, and then we have this mega corporation, arguably saying, hey, even though this character was obviously derived out of at least a political ideal, don't use him as part of your campaign.
Well, in a certain way, I can appreciate that because, what is this guy? He may be the most anti-libertarian, the most anti-freedom person running for office, right? And using a character that is a symbol of those things is an insult to that character. So from that perspective, I understand it. I don't believe the legal system should be weaponized in order to prevent it or anything like that. But I think that a stronger and more libertarian solution would have been for Disney to put out a video with the actor who played Captain America dressed as Captain America saying that he denounces whatever this candidate stands for.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed that.
And it would have been effective.
Well, so first off, I would not think that Captain America stands against the idea that somebody would run for office.
He would stand, we know from the film Winter Soldier that he would stand against someone who was running for office with things like the Patriot Act and the War on Terror behind them.
He would be against many of those things.
And that's probably something this candidate, just going by the numbers here, he's probably all about the Patriot Act.
I don't know what this candidate's ideas are. Usually it's Republicans that like Captain America, not Democrats. But there's a better argument that Captain America is a sort of a Truman Democrat than that he was ever a Republican. And I'm talking about the main universe Captain America, not the Ultimates universe, which certainly was he was rewritten to be this sort of jingoist Republican Captain America because they felt like they needed to represent everybody. And I thought that it was a great series, but I don't think the Democrats really identify with Captain America in the same way. I did get to see something online at one point.
He is a Democrat, by the way.
Okay. In New York, you'd think he couldn't be otherwise. He might be in Brooklyn. Is he in Brooklyn?
New York City Council.
New York City?
No, East Harlem, Midtown,
East Harlem, okay.
Murray Hill, Roosevelt Island, and the Upper East Side of Manhattan. So,
right.
You know.
He's a Manhattanite.
Yeah.
There was an interesting one where some comment on the internet. Some Democrat was upset that they took Captain America, who was a good Democrat and Winter Soldier, and turned him to a douchey libertarian in Civil War. But I, as a libertarian, saw Captain America Winter Soldier and thought it was the best movie yet. And I never saw a distinction between him and a libertarian. So seemed like a libertarian to me in Winter Soldier.
I will definitely agree that I like the character as he was portrayed in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did not care for Tony Stark, the Iron Man. I felt like that whole thing should have been reversed. That Tony Stark should have been the one revolting and saying, no, we're not signing this government crap, because that's what he did in the original Iron Man movies.
Well, yes, but in the Marvel,
I understand the arc that he went through.
In the series of Civil War, the Marvel series Civil War, it was Iron Man that was held responsible by a mother and those kind of things. So they wanted to give him that role. And the character development is going to go to the big guy, and the big guy is Robert Downey Jr. So I can see why they decided to do that. I loved in Iron Man 2 when he's sitting there at the Senate and said, I just privatized world peace. You're welcome.
Love that.
It's awesome. I mean, that scene and a couple of speeches out of Winter Soldier and Civil War are some of the best stuff that Marvel does. But, most of the problems that were being addressed in the Sokovia Accords were really things that Tony Stark did, not things that Steve Rogers did. So Steve Rogers had no business signing this accord thing that was being handed down by, let's face it, the United States government. He didn't do any of this stuff.
He headed the group that was responsible.
He headed the group. Well, yes, but he was that one group that was in like South Africa or something and had that problem. Scarlet Witch blows up a building or something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I still feel like it should have been reversed, because in the earlier movies he was all rah rah, respect authority. And
Which
then he
movies?
Was the Shield authorities. The first Avengers movie, I think. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Sean Connery.
And Mark.
And if you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance, well, good news, it's never been easier thanks to helpmetakebitcoin.com. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, then you're almost done. Just visit helpmetakebitcoin.com and follow these simple steps. Within moments, you'll be accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at helpmetakebitcoin.com. Again, helpmetakebitcoin.com. And they've been having some DNS issues, so if that's not working, check out anypayglobal.inc. Awesome little service. I used AnyPay, well, the place that I ate at today used AnyPay, and I was able to use Bitcoin Cash to buy today's dinner. It's great.
Nice.
Yep.
I saw you eating it.
You
I
did.
can verify.
Yep. Always good. Let's get into the phones. We've got Donald calling from New York. Donald, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, good evening. They had a thing about those two girls that were held captive in the Bronx 15 years by that Spanish guy as sex slaves. There was a similar...
Was that in the Bronx? I thought that was in Ohio.
There's a similar one. It was, it might have been in Ohio. They had a similar correspondence, Danielle Sattel, S-I-T-T-E-L.
Oh, the Sattel guy.
And in her blog, she says, high school girl target for marketing, forced marriage with her captors. There are instances when I struggled. And says marketing by the two older females in town, she calls the producers, needs to beeline it out.
I can't hear anything.
No, I can't hear you, man.
You're not talking into your phone. Are you claiming that the two women that are being held, there was a third one?
Yeah, you can see it. Danielle Sattel, S-I-T-T-E-L on Google.
This is his
She
website.
Says, although we're all here together, there's very little chance I'll interact with you in front of him. He effectively isolates. I must avoid confrontation. I'll be affected through the message sent after I place this ad. He's physically toxic, breathing and drinking, toxic. I'm surrounded. See the ad that plays into need to protect children, pumps children with unhealthy, no escaping it.
Okay,
on the
dude.
ride to the Coconuts
Yeah.
music store.
Sorry, dude. Your volume is really low, and there's a lot of static. I'm not catching anything that you're saying.
Whatever he's talking on was a horrible horrible microphone.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible story being conveyed over a terrible microphone. But you have some knowledge of what he was talking about?
He's called in from insane asylums, or so he claims.
I would not be surprised.
And he, I think he fancies himself a investigative reporter.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe he's got the greatest stories in the world. I have, every time I've tried to look him up, I can't do it. And I mean, here he repeats his name over and over and over again. Satel, I don't know.
I had no idea what he was saying through any of it. It was
I think he was talking about that situation that went on. I think it was in Ohio some years ago, where a man was keeping two women in his basement, and they couldn't get out for years. For years, they were his slaves, and
horrible.
It's a fascinating story. It's obviously awful, but one can only just sort of, wow, this is amazing. Like the depths of human depravity and how he goes about it and pulling it off for so long. I mean, keeping somebody in a house while you go to work for 15 years? It's amazing.
Yeah, amazing in a bad kind of way.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. We've got David from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, how about them gay Jewish Nazis?
Are they Jewish Nazis now?
How do you know what religion
they always
are?
were.
How do you know what religion they are?
I asked them.
When did you encounter them in order to ask them? Are you sure? Because you say you asked them, but what I believe you did was look them up on Facebook.
Oh, speaking of that, let's correct Aria again. There's a pattern here. We have to constantly correct Aria. You know what, Aria? Let me compliment you. You truly are female, because you are not good with logic at all.
Okay. Why are you saying that?
Oh, well, since you brought up looking at Facebook, I needed to correct you. I looked at, after these people aggressed me, I did what I have a legal right to do, and that's research my case.
What people aggressed you?
You're interrupting me.
Yes,
I'm trying to answer a question. You guys have a habit of somebody asks a question or there's a conversation going on, and then somebody else interrupts with another question and completely reroutes the conversation. And
it's called having a discussion, David.
Just like no, having a discussion is back and forth. What you guys do is constantly reroute.
He asked you who aggressed against you. That's related to the discussion you're having.
I'm not going to do girl stuff. I'm not going to do girl stuff with you, Aria. So let me just cut to the chase. Oh, I want to say to Mark the other day, you were talking about Jim Brown.
Yeah.
The running back.
Jim. No, this one. There's two Jim Browns, and one is the running back, and the one whose daughter I used to take out to the nightclubs across state lines so she could drink legally at 18 in Wisconsin, where it was 19 in Minnesota, was Jim Boom Boom Brown's daughter. He was part of the Purple People Eaters back in the day.
Oh, yeah, don't you know? I know.
What's the Purple People Eaters do?
What in the hell are we even talking about?
Something apparently a federal crime.
You wouldn't understand because you're a girl. You wouldn't understand, Aria. You're a girl. Anyway, the Vikings defense, the Purple People Eaters. So anyway, but let's check on Mark here for a second. Jim Brown. Somehow I don't remember him in the abolitionist trade.
Which one was it?
You might have been thinking of John Brown.
John Brown. My mistake. Oh. I can make mistakes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd have some fun with that. So back to the
Jim Brown was the running back. Yeah, I did get to see him. His little trick was to sort of lay on the field and then get up slowly, so everybody would be afraid that he had gotten hurt.
Earlier in your discussion this evening, Mark, you guys were talking about.
No, let's stay focused here. Who is aggressing against you?
Yeah, let's stay focused, Aria. Stop interrupting.
I was
talking to
pulling
Mark.
you back onto focus.
I was in the process of. In fact, I said exactly.
Goodbye, David. This is our show, not yours.
Oh God.
855-450.
We do go on the air and say it's your show.
Well, it's the talk radio that you control, sure, but we're not going to let him just go to this topic and that topic when he never fleshed out the first topic. Captain asked him a fair question about who had aggressed against him, and instead of answering, he starts talking about some football player and then wants to talk about something else entirely unrelated to the initial point without ever answering Captain's question. It's not the You Ramble show, it's the You Call In and Talk. he wasn't talking with us. He was talking at us.
Well, you can ramble all you want as long as you're entertaining, but usually rambling isn't.
Yeah,
so
that's true. And David, he rambles. So, Captain America, Disney, I'm upset, I guess, that Disney now owns Star Wars and Marvel because Disney sucks. They're going to beat Marvel into the ground like they have the Star Wars movies. That was what upset me about the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, so I'm current and up to date on The Mandalorian, which is great. Jon Favreau is running that show over there, and it's got Disney money behind it, so it looks great. It's well filmed. The special effects are dynamite. So at least for the time being, it hasn't ruined Star Wars for me, although I expect over time it will.
855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. Or you can use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com, and participate in the chat there that is just always happening.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, except when you're David from New Mexico. With you tonight, it's Aria.
The Captain.
And Mark.
And if you're quick, you can still get on the air with us. That number is 855-450-3733 because, as Mark alluded to earlier, we have a special thing from Better Plans for the next segment. But
BetterPlans.net.
Yes. But evidently, some retired U.S. Navy SEALs are doing things that are not what you would expect, really, from retired Navy SEALs.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut through the mustard here, and I'm going to go straight to their website. Their website is called savedinamerica.org. This is a voluntary organization comprised of what appears to be former Navy SEALs. They're completely donation-based, and as the site is not loading for me.
And they rescue people who are being trafficked in the United States.
Correct. And they also claim to have a 100% success rate. Now, I have to think that means they're very picky about the criteria, but you can actually...
Yeah, I think the first thing I think of is the Doctor Strange movie where Stephen Strange is like, hey, I fix people, but he's rejects all kinds of cases that he doesn't think he can help people because he wants to keep this, winning streak going.
I still haven't seen Doctor Strange.
That's great.
Yeah, I imagine it would be. But they clearly have not put an end to human trafficking because the Department of Human Services still exists. Child protective custody, all of that crap. It seems to be heavily involved in the child sex trafficking trade.
Yeah, they actually, that's, I believe, their target. Their website, savedinamerica.org, boasts 223...
Well, if it was their target, they would be boogalooing on the White House.
That's a fair assessment. Their website boasts 223 children located and recovered since December 2014.
Impressive.
That's a lot. I mean,
one is impressive.
Yeah, sure.
Their website, our mission, locate your child. At no charge to families, we volunteer to assist parents and law enforcement to locate missing, runaway, and exploited children, the groups most vulnerable to sexual trafficking. For victims of sexual exploitation, we assist in procuring legal representation, safe housing, and rehabilitative therapy.
I can't help but wonder, not that I'm trying to diminish what these folks are doing. It sounds great at the very least. I don't know anything about their story, but I wonder about returning kids that ran away and find prostitution a better alternative to living at home, getting returned to that home.
That's an interesting question. And sort of the reason that I bring this particular topic to the show is because as you go and you read through like what these guys do and kind of what they're about, these are the things I think most people expect the police to do, which of course they don't. Instead,
they're too busy.
Instead, the police, take down, the report, they file it, and they treat these cases as just simple runaway cases instead of potential, sexual exploitation or child slavery otherwise. So this group then has to sort of self-organize, figure out how to get funding and donations to go out and do what most people would expect a police force to do in a similar situation.
So they start out with this story of a 17-year-old girl ultimately taken from a hotel in Myrtle Beach by a gang member pimp to a stash house for several days, then repeatedly raped by gang members, shot dead, and fed to alligators.
How awful.
That is not much of a... I can understand why people would be compelled after hearing about a story like that to attempt to do what they can.
Indeed.
To put a stop to it. So, police aren't.
Well,
isn't Myrtle Beach kind of like a dangerous area anyway?
I don't think so. It's a tourist area.
They're often, dangerous for 17-year-old girls to be unattended.
Perhaps they
night.
get taken there for the consumption of tourists. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen in Sarasota. That's a tourist area, at least not that I know of.
True.
I'm not too familiar with the geography of Florida. But I mean,
Myrtle Beach is not in Florida.
Oh.
No, it's in South Carolina.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. See how not familiar I am?
Right. I know you're a West Coaster.
So evidently, these former Nazi SEALs have come together to rescue people from child sex trafficking. A 16-year-old girl was abducted along with a friend while they were riding their bicycles. Her parents contacted the police. The police were just handling it as a runaway.
Right.
These two teen girls who were kidnapped off their bicycles. The police just assumed runaway. That seems really dangerous on their part. Hey, my 16-year-old daughter is missing. The police go, oh, she must have run away. Well, why don't you look for her before making that assessment? Right?
Well, what are they going to do, honestly?
Isn't there some sort of
their
writing?
Jurisdiction stops at the county line, and
Not in New Hampshire.
What's that?
Jurisdiction limits don't apply in New Hampshire.
Maybe not, but I mean, if your kid in Keene, New Hampshire runs away, exactly how are the Keene cops going to find them?
Here's what doesn't happen. An officer doesn't sort of patrol the general area where the reported abduction or whatever occurred, right? What they do is they file some paperwork. They put out an all-points bulletin with a vague description that they've gotten, from whomever gave the description. And then, they rely on, the patrols as they are distributed to maybe keep an eye out for that kind of thing. Nobody takes a proactive stance.
If they would, if the cops would take the opportunity to say, hey, look, this really isn't our bag. This isn't what we do. And when we try to do it, we fail a lot because we stay within this little geographic area known as X city. And we don't go beyond it. And the likelihood, if your young person has been actually kidnapped, that they're still inside this city is darn unlikely. Now, we can report it to some other policing agency, but this really is something that, maybe a private investigator would do a better job at or something like that. Mind you, the private investigation business is full of criminals, scam artists, and crooks.
Well, yeah,
That's the problem.
The family here hired a private investigator, but after 3 weeks, there were no results. So they finally called the Saved in America people, and less than a week later, they rescued their daughter from criminals in Compton, California, who were planning to sell her into sex slavery. Now, that's some really good detective and tracing work
impressive,
on their part.
Yeah.
I mean, especially this was a month later, essentially, and they still managed to track down these two kids who were abducted off their bicycles. And the police filed a report saying that they had run away while they were being held against their will by criminals preparing to be sold into sex slavery.
Yeah, and the police would have never done what this organization did in that instance, right? They're always a reactionary force, right? They're the janitors, right? Police are the janitors.
Well, they had something to react to in this case. A missing 16-year-old. They just didn't. They weren't even reactionary.
Well, I'm
they
sure
were
they
unactionary.
I'm sure they showed up and took a statement and filed a thing so that it was officially on record somewhere.
Sure. Well, yeah, and it says they did that. They were handling it as a runaway, which means, paperwork and all of that, but that's where they stopped.
Yep.
That was all the action they took. Versus this team here that has a 100% rescue success rate, evidently rescuing all 197 people they investigated since 2014. 60% of those were lucky enough to be rescued before they were exploited or before they were trafficked.
Impressive.
What's
the group's name again?
SIAM, S-I-A-M, Saved in America.
Saved in America.
.org.
So again, why do we need police? We have this private force out there that is investigating these horrific crimes with a very high success rate.
Once this private force gets government funding because they've done so well, they will their records will begin to to spiral downward, and they'll begin to fail because they don't have the responsibility anymore. Unfortunately, that's what happens.
Excellent
There's no program that government funding can't run.
But stay tuned because coming up in just a moment, Mark,
Well, we're going to be talking about the betterplans.net. I've done an interview here, and I hope you enjoy it.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Another edition of the Edgington Post Show. Today I have with me Mark Macy. Mark, are you there?
I'm here.
Mark, you're with betterplans.net, and this is my new favorite organization because you guys help people get insurance plans that aren't Obamacare and that are significantly less costly than the stuff I've looked at over the course of the last year or so.
That's correct. Significantly less costly and twice as good.
So tell me what you do, and then I want to know how you do it.
Okay. We market and sell individual and small group health insurance plans that are outside the Obamacare mandates. We sell indemnity health insurance plans that match up with the Obamacare major medical plans. Do not include the mandates, which drive up the cost of these mainstream major medical plans.
What are these mandates?
Maternity coverage that you may or may not want.
I think I'm covered on that one. I'm good.
Yeah, I think people maybe above 50, 60 years old might not be interested in that.
Perhaps the vasectomy might be something too.
Correct, yes. Pediatric dental, which is part of the individual, part of the Obamacare mandates. The big thing that's driving up the cost of Obamacare major medical plans is guaranteed issue. So
yes,
they will accept everybody. You might need heart surgery next month. They will accept you. That drives up the premiums, drives down the coverages because the claims are driving. So to minimize the claims for the insurance companies, they raise their deductibles, drive the premiums up, and everybody pays for that. The indemnity plans that we sell have to be approved by the insurance companies through phone interviews, what's called MIB checks, medical information checks, so that you're not, walk on water healthy, but healthy enough to qualify. So by giving these insurance companies a chance to screen out this risk, they can give you a much better product at a much lower cost.
Yeah, I remember it used to be, I know what there is to know about insurance from watching television. I've heard about group plans, so I figure insurance is all about the groups. If you go into the group where they have to pick everybody, then obviously your plan's going to be more expensive because everybody who's got a pre-existing condition is going to go in there and get the operation as fast as they can possibly get it. Nothing wrong with that. That's what they're going to do. That's human nature. So if you go into a group that is, more tailored to your age and lifestyle and all these other things, obviously you're going to pay less.
Correct. If the insurance company allows you to start off as a relatively healthy person, they don't have to assume the risk of the rest of the risk pool. They could just focus on you, give you a better plan. Now, whatever happens after you get your policy, is on the insurance company, but they're starting off at a point to give you a better plan and better benefits at a lower rate going forward, not taking on the risk of others who might be in that pool if they could, focus on you and screen out that risk and give you a policy going forward.
Can betterplans.net help? This isn't just for New Hampshire, right? Where can you guys help people?
Oh, absolutely. No, we're in 34 states across the country, not just in New Hampshire. 34 states all around the country.
Okay. And so you don't represent just one insurance company. You represent a whole bunch of them.
That's correct. The indemnity health insurance plans, which match up to major medical, are not as standardized as major medical. So there are good ones and bad ones. You've heard of skinny health insurance plans. You've heard of very good health insurance plans. We sell only the very good health insurance plans, but they're all across the board. You just have to make sure you're dealing with the right broker to give you the right plans.
So it's betterplans.net. Now I'll give the telephone number at the end of this, but I want to talk about your free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets. What are some of the things that people can expect from this free ebook?
Sure. So in the major medical industry, what's happened over the past 30 years, first of all, 30 years ago, you had the insured, the policyholder, the insurance company, and the provider, the doctor or hospital. Those were all independent. You saw if you had a claim, if the insured had a claim, you saw what the insurance company was paying the provider. Nowadays, what's happening in the past 20, 30 years is that the insurance companies have purchased the providers. So they play some shenanigans, showing you what you pay, say, a $30 doctor visit. In a lot of cases, this $30 that you're paying could be for a service that actually costs less. A comprehensive blood panel is a cash pay price of like $22. So you're actually paying more than it's costing the insurance companies. Also, things like mammograms are shown on what's called explanation of benefits by these insurance companies as maybe costing $700, $800, showing a discount to you at $400 or $500, when actually the cost to them is probably $80 or $90. So they're not being as transparent in these plans as indemnity health insurance plans will be.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to cost, the people at the hospital, they just don't know what's going on. And I've got to call that a bad business plan, but I don't really blame the people at the hospital. So if I go to the mechanic and I say I want this thing worked on, this thing worked on, this thing worked on, but skip that thing, then they're going to know what the price is individually, or at the very least they can refer me right in the next room to somebody who has some pricing on those particular things, and I'm going to know before I ever get anything done or order it what it costs. But if I go to the human mechanic that we call a doctor, I'm going to have a whole bunch of people who don't know what the other folks are doing, and pricing for these things is going to be completely out of whack. I haven't had a lot of experience in the medical sphere, but when my wife had our child, there was a test that they wanted us to take, and we were paying out of pocket at the time, and we're like, hey, tell us about this test a little bit, everything we want to know about. And they're like, well, how about you take this test to see whether or not you need to take the other test, because the first test would be, it's a little iffy, sometimes it doesn't work out, but the second test is surefire. And the lady who provided it, or that advice, sounded as genuine as she possibly could, but it turns out that the first test, to see whether or not you needed to take the second test, by the way, we failed the first test and passed the second test. But right. the first test cost more than the second test. And we'd have been better off just going to take the second test.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they're busy. Just because they're wearing white coats doesn't mean they're not businessmen. And it's not like they're showing you a menu and this is the cost and you can go down the street and shop it. That's not the way the medical distribution, healthcare is distributed in this country. It's changing, but it's not, there's no market pressure showing the procedures and the cost of procedures and quality of procedures. It's not like you're driving past a gas station and the prices are listed out there. You're just walking into, say, a restaurant, throwing down your credit card and saying, give me whatever. So they'll bill you right. afterward. That's not the way it should be. And it's changing, but it's changing slowly.
Right, and it's not a Denny's either. You're walking into the Ruth's Chris right. Steakhouse, slapping down your credit card and saying, "I'll take whatever you want to give me, and don't forget the wine menu." I mean, it's the whole thing.
Absolutely. As there's no market pressure to force them to be more competitive, because you're allowing your insurance company to do it, a major medical plan, and they're just showing you what you're going to pay. They're not actually showing you what they're paying. And you're allowing a third party to do it, but they're winning on both sides. If they own the providers, they're making money on the procedures as well as making money on the premiums.
So at my household recently looked at plans, and for the household, I my memory isn't the greatest in the world. I don't have it sitting right here in front of me, but the number that I remember was something like $2,250 per month, which is, that's $25,000+ per year, almost $30,000 per year for medical insurance.
Absolutely.
I mean, at this point, at those rates, you could shave off 10% and call yourself a bargain. Is that what you're doing?
No, we're shaving off 50% and giving you a better plan. Typical bronze level, which is the entry level, low level Obamacare, for say a family with the adults being in their mid 50s, is probably right around that, depending on what part of the country. And we'll come in at about $1,000 a month, and you don't have to meet that $7,000 deductible, which again is part of the bronze plan Obamacare, the lowest price one. We'll cover you with doctor visits, labs, testing before you meet any deductible, and you'll save $1,200 a month, or $15,000 a year typically.
Mark Macy, betterplans.net. I'm going to give you your telephone number here. It's 800-714-1802. Again, that's 800-714-1802. And it's betterplans.net. .net. And that .net is obviously very important. Better Plans, as in insurance plans, .net. And the free ebook is Dirty Little Secrets. Mark, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. In my lab, I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair